Andrew O is an emerging author who's with us here just now. How are you doing today?
Doing well. Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you on the show today. So, how would you describe your latest book, Pimple Perfect, then?
Yeah, so it is a book about acne. What is acne? What causes it? And sort of, I guess, the stigma that surrounds people that do have pimples. And the
Yeah.
book is kind of just my story growing up as a child and hoping I can kind of educate children on what it is. Because I remember growing up with acne, I didn't really know what it was. I got teased for it a lot. So hoping that we can kind of reduce that with this book somehow. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so important because most, especially teenagers, have it at some point, and
Mhm.
it always feels like something you should try and cover up. But, most people get it at some point, so it shouldn't really be something to be ashamed of.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Where did the inspiration for the book come from in the first place then?
I'd always kind of wanted to write a book before, but
Yeah.
I never really knew what I wanted to do. And I kind of just thought back to just my story growing up and things that inspired me, things that kind of shaped me to the person I am today. And skin is like something that I've kind of just wrestled with throughout my life.
Mm.
And I thought to myself, maybe I can write a children's book about acne or something. I think it'd be really cool. I kind of just saw what's out there. I didn't see any books out there about acne, and I said, I think this is a great thing to do. So that's kind of the inspiration behind the book. That's where it came from.
Yeah, that's quite incredible that there weren't really any books beforehand. Why do you think that might be? Is there any reason? Or have people just forgotten about it?
That's a good question. I haven't really thought about that too much. I guess it's just like acne is just such a really like underrepresented thing. We don't really see it much in pop culture,
Yeah.
in movies and TV shows. I guess books as well. We don't really see characters with acne that are struggling with acne, and it is a really common thing. It's like the most common skin condition in the world, and I think we all recognize that.
Yeah.
But I think sort of the stigma, this taboo, does still exist with people that may have pimples, and I think just the fact that it's kind of universally accepted, but at the same time, people don't really like to talk about it, I think is maybe why there isn't any books about it yet. Or, yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah. And I guess there's also this perception when you have acne that it's your fault somehow, like maybe you didn't wash enough or something like that.
Yeah, that's actually a great point you bring up there, because I was, in my experience, people with acne and people with pimples were the ones that like were the most self-conscious, or were the most like conscientious about how they did skincare.
Yeah.
They were always the ones that were making sure like I'm not going to touch my face. The people with pimples were the ones that were like the most focused on that, which is so ironic to me. Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess sometimes you could try certain ways to wash your face or whatever, and it actually ends up making it worse because you could have some sort of allergic reaction or whatever.
Yeah. Exactly. You get scrubbed too hard or
Yeah.
whatever, kind of irritated. Yeah.
Yeah. So you worked with your sister on this as well, who illustrated it. What was it like to team up with her?
It was cool.
Yeah.
I knew that my sister's an art student. She's not an illustrator, but she's pretty good at drawing. And I kind of just went into her room one day and I said, her name is Jackie. I said, "Hey Jackie, do you want to write a book with me? Here's like an idea that I have." And she said, "Let's do it." So it was really cool. It was really easy to kind of go back and forth with communication, and we align in a lot of ways in terms of just like the style of the type of book we wanted to make. And she's just a really artistic person, so she kind of brings things to life that I have ideas about. So it was awesome. Yeah, I trusted her. I trusted her vision, and it really paid off in the end.
Yeah, and looking at the sort of, you can see a few pages on Amazon, the illustrations are actually quite an important part of the book. They take up a lot of the page, so it's important to have somebody that can do a good job there.
Definitely, yeah.
So in terms of the content of the book, how's it structured and what actually is the content in general?
So I guess it's sort of just about a character. His name is William. He's supposed to be me. It's supposed to be like my story.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. I think everyone knows at this point, but it's supposed to be sort of the story that I lived. He shows up to school one day. Everyone's making fun of him because he's got pimples. He doesn't know why some people got pimples and why some people don't, and like why he had pimples, how we can make them better. So he sees a doctor. And that's where kind of a lot of the teaching in the book comes in. The doctor kind of explains to William what acne is. It kind of introduces him to it. and ways that we can prevent it. Then he goes home and he talks to his mom, which is my mom. And my
Yeah.
mom is a huge inspiration for me. And she's always kind of been someone that's told me to be comfortable in my own skin. And William kind of learns that from his mom in the book. And then he goes to school with sort of this confidence that he's going to kind of spread wisdom to others about what acne is, and kind of show support for those who also have it. So that was kind of just a story that I had growing up, and it was cool to kind of see it come to life in the book.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that it's a true story as well makes your message come across better because it's real.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So.
Yeah. And what did it feel like when you first released the book out into the public?
So we submitted it for publication sometime in like the middle of September. And I was pretty nervous, to be honest, because I've never written a book before. I kind of just submitted it, kind of just threw it out there. And I didn't know how the world was going to respond to it. And obviously, still a lot of the world doesn't know that I wrote this book. It's just like my family and friends and stuff. But the reception that we got was pretty positive. I was getting a lot of texts and a lot of calls just saying, like, this is an awesome book. Thanks for writing this book. So I was kind of nervous, but kind of as I saw more and more people that had a lot of really positive things to say, it kind of just made me more and more confident that I should be proud of what we made. So it was definitely cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a great book because acne can affect anybody, really. There's no discrimination there. Boys, girls, and any kind of group of any sort.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. So definitely, just definitely a big challenge for everyone. And I was reading some research articles like earlier this week, and it turns out people are starting to get acne earlier now, like these days. Like kids are starting to get it now. So that's a good question. I don't know. But I guess the book, will serve them too. So
yeah, I guess it's like whatever the causes of acne might be have increased somehow in recent years for whatever reason. I don't know.
Yeah, genetics or diet or something. There's really a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of acne's hard. It's a hard one to explain, I guess, why people get it.
Yes. Well, have you got any more books on the way after this one?
Oh, I haven't thought too much about more books. Right now, we're just trying to spread the word about this book, about Pimple Perfect. We did like a big donation to Seattle Children's, which is like 10 minutes from where I live. We donated like 50 copies to the hospital. That was a lot of fun.
Wow.
And kind of just like, just doing interviews and stuff about the book. It's been a ton of fun. And my mom's like my biggest fan, and she'll like buy a bunch of copies and like hand them out to people and stuff at like church or whatever. So she's kind of like she's like the marketing team pretty much. So I haven't thought about any future books, but I'd love to keep doing this. It'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and that's a good idea, donating them to the hospital, because even if you're not making any profit from it, at least somebody's going to see it and probably be helped by it.
Yeah, right. It was never really the goal to make money off of this.
Yeah.
I didn't really expect any income to come from it, it was just kind of fun because we made like some money, which is like cool, I guess. But just definitely people just texting me saying that they love the book means the most. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, where are we able to check out the book? I take it it's in all the usual places that you can find books, which is basically Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon pretty much where you can find it. You just type in Google or type it in the Amazon search, just Pimple Perfect, Andrew O, something like that. You'll find it. Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you very much for joining us here on the show today. It's been great to talk to you.
Cool. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.